This is the SAU Report, a program featuring interviews with the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
Welcome to the SAU Report. I'm Dallas Short.
And I'm Lisa Hackenberger.
Our guest today is Ben Phillips, Director of Southern Arkansas University Baptist Collegiate Ministries. How did you become the Director of the BCM, Ben?
Well, that's really a pretty interesting story. I'm from Illinois originally and went to seminary in Fort Worth, Texas. And while I was there, met a good friend that I worked with in a children's home. And he got married before I did, and he and his wife thought it was their mission in life to find me somebody to marry, and set me up on a blind date, and got married a year later. And then it so happened he graduated earlier than I did and moved to University of Arkansas at Monticello to serve as a campus minister there. And when I was approaching graduation from seminary, he said, "Ben, there's a position open at Southern Arkansas University, home of the mule riders." And when I first heard that, I thought, where in the world is Magnolia, Arkansas, and what in the world is a mule rider? And but anyway, I felt God was kind of in this decision to come up here, and we made the move up here in June of '96. And so we've been here for just about 6.5 years now.
So why did they change the name of the BCM from the BSU?
Well, that kind of happened over the course of a few years. Some different reasons behind that. In BCM all across the United States, we've gone from national student ministries to national collegiate ministries. Baptist Student Union is the old name, and student now is a name or is a term that is used for somebody from kindergarten all the way up through college. And so changing the name from student to collegiate really identified the target audience of who we're trying to reach out to. And then union, that's kind of an outdated term, and ministry better identifies what we're trying to do. We're not trying to pull people into a union, but we're really trying to mobilize students out to do ministry.
Ben, the BCM sponsors many events for students as well as people in the community. Where does the funding for these events come from?
From a variety of different sources. Like for me personally, my salary comes from the Arkansas Baptist State Convention, which comes via churches all across Arkansas who give to a thing Southern Baptists have called the Cooperative Program, which is a way that Southern Baptists kind of pool their money together to fund all kinds of different missions endeavors and different ministries, literally all around the world. And the local BCM here is supported from 3 different associations. An association is made up of a group of churches that get together and decide to cooperate together to accomplish different ministries and do different things together. And each of these associations will pool money together that are utilized to help facilitate different ministries in a localized area. Associations we affiliate with are Southwest Association, which is Southern Baptist churches from Magnolia, Hope, Texarkana area. And then we also affiliate with an association called Cary Association, which is pretty much from Camden up to Fordyce, Southern Baptist churches in that area. And then Liberty Association, which is churches from Magnolia all the way over to El Dorado and that surrounding area. So that's where we get some of our funding, is from those different associations that give to us. Plus we have several different churches who give to us. 2 local Southern Baptist churches here, Emmanuel Baptist Church and Central Baptist Church, both support our ministry, as well as some churches around the area that give to us. And we have different individuals who at times contribute to what we're doing. And then that money there is used to operate our facility and pay utility costs, that kind of thing. And then it allows us to be able to do different kind of ministry events there in the BCM and up on campus.
Well, speaking of events, what are some of the events that have gone on this semester and that will be going on this semester?
I have a bunch of different kinds of events that we do. Typically, at the first of the semester, we have a thing that we just call it Freshman Rush Week, where we try to do a lot of things that target freshmen. Because typically, freshmen within those first few weeks of school are going to make friendships and habit patterns that, for a lot of them, will carry them through the rest of their career here at SAU. And so we do some different things. One of the things we did during Freshman Rush Week was we did a popsicle fest for students as they were coming out of Harton Theater. We did a hamburger cookout one night, and we did a freshman survival night where we broke students up into groups and they made their own movie. We've done things where we've had a movie night down at the BCM and shown it up on a video projector. And then we've also, we always try to encourage students to get together and go to some of the football games. We've done a worship event out here in the mall area in the center of campus. We have typically each semester there's a statewide BCM event that is typically held somewhere around Little Rock, where BCMs from all across the state get together. Students who are involved in BCMs and other campuses come there, and we typically participate in those kind of events. We did a thing, it was kind of a new thing that we had not done this semester, just probably a few weeks ago. We called it, Mission Impossible, which was really just a lot of fun. It was kind of a big hide and seek game up on campus, and had students dressed in camo running all over the place, and it was a lot of fun. Coming up in November 2nd, we're doing a thing, we're calling it a preview day, where we're inviting students from all across South Arkansas to come to Wilkins Stadium out here. We're going to have some chili before the game. Students will have the opportunity, juniors and seniors, high school juniors and seniors, we're inviting to come to that. They will be able to go to the game free. And then after that, we'll have a fellowship down at the BCM that'll hopefully really encourage students to check out SAU and consider SAU as their college choice. And then also to consider becoming involved in a Christian student organization when they're here. One of the things we've also done pretty much every semester since I've been here is a thing we call Moonlight Breakfast, which is, we do it the Monday night of finals week, and we have anywhere from 70 to 100 students that normally show up, where we cook breakfast about 11 o'clock at night down at the BCM, and a lot of students can take a snack break. Those who are studying can take a study break. Some are, some aren't. You know how that is, being students yourselves. And then there's other little things that we do. Oh, I almost forgot. This next week is Freshman Week at the BCM, where we give freshmen who are involved in our ministry the opportunity to take on some different leadership roles. So they're going to be leading in our noonday ministry that we have, and leading in worship on Wednesday night. And then I think Thursday they're going to have some sort of costume party. There were a bunch of students who were there at the BCM even as I left to come here that we're planning for that event. And there's probably some others that I'm missing, but those are some of the different things that we've done over the course of a. Oh, we also do some different mission kind of trips as well. So a lot of different kinds of things that we're involved in doing.
Ben, every semester when we start our classes, we get syllabi from our teachers that tell everything that teacher expects of us that semester. It also has, somewhere near the back, the university mission. What is the mission of the BCM?
Great question. I always like to ask, especially those student leaders who are involved in our ministry, that. And I won't ask you that on the spot, but
Answer that.
But our mission there at the BCM is to lead students into a passionate relationship with Christ and to equip them to become multiplying disciples who serve through the ministries of local churches to spread God's glory among all peoples. And what I think that means is what we're about is reaching out and leading students to faith in Christ, those who don't have a personal relationship with Him. And for those students who come here who and are Christians, to really challenge them to grow in their relationship with Christ. And we do that by equipping them through different small group Bible studies, through some of the worship things we do down there that help students to grow in their relationship. And then we really like to encourage students to get plugged in to local churches. Had a student this year who was involved in our leadership ministry and felt like he needed to step down out of that major leadership role because he was starting to get more active in his local church. Started leading his youth group on Wednesday night and teaching Sunday school on Sunday mornings. And really that's kind of where we want to go. I want to see students as they approach graduation get more and more plugged in and involved into their local church. Because hopefully most students, once they graduate, whether it's 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it may be, are going to be away from a campus ministry. And their priority place of ministry is going to be a local church somewhere. And then the last part of that mission statement to declare God's glory among all peoples. One of the things that I really like to challenge students to do is to consider that our mission is not just focused here on this campus, but it's really focused around the entire world. And we have different students who are out doing that, even as we speak, who are serving literally all around the world, telling others about Jesus Christ.
So is the BCM just for Baptists?
No, it's not. That's a great question. In fact, Dallas, I don't think you're Baptist, and you've been involved for quite a while. We have a variety of different students from different denominations who have been involved in BCM, even some from different denominations who've been involved in leadership opportunities there. So I think really among this generation here, denominational affiliation is not as big a thing as it used to be, and so we're really quite open to involving different students from other denominations. We have there are quite a few international students on the weekends who are from completely different religious backgrounds, who are involved at least to the extent that they're coming and hanging out at the BCM and being involved in some of those different kind of ways.
How does one go about getting more involved with the BCM?
Well, we don't make anybody sign their name in blood or anything like that. Students don't have to give money to the BCM. We don't have any dues or anything like that. And some different ways students can become more involved in the BCM. I think one is just becoming aware of some of the different things that we have going on. And there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved. We have a noonday ministry, which is we do a free lunch each week where students can come and be a part of that. On Wednesday nights, we have a thing called Cross Seekers, which is a weekly worship time, and we have quite a few students involved in that. And then one of the things we're kind of in the process of doing right now is encouraging students to apply to our ministry teams, which is probably one of the better avenues for students to get involved in kind of actively serving in some sort of ministry kind of role. And so we're encouraging students what they do in that is they fill out an application that just gives us some general information about them, and we kind of do a little personal interview kind of thing. And then we really try to find a place of ministry for them that fits them. Some students are good up in front of people, and for those who are good up in front of people, we'll put them up in front of people. Some aren't, and that's okay. I think one of the things y'all are involved in is our interpretive movement and drama. That's a way that a variety of different students have gotten involved. And there's been many times when a student has come to me and said, I think the BCM ought to do this. And oftentimes one of my responses is, that's a great idea. Why don't you take that on? And because one of the things I like to do is to be able to empower and equip students to really pursue an area of ministry that they're passionate about. Sometimes our ministries are changing from semester to semester, depending upon students who have a heart for that area or not. So,
The outside of the building is looking quite different. What exactly is going on?
well, we've made some significant changes. We've ripped out a flower bed that was, in my perspective, kind of an eyesore, and the trees out front were not symmetrical. I am all about symmetry and things looking nice, and so we got rid of some trees out front. And a student that is involved here, one of her gifts and talents is doing all this gardening and planting stuff. Julie Hillage is said, "Hey, I would love to help put some flowers and all that kind of stuff out." And she took it and ran with it, designed it, planted it, and so we got some new shrubbery that we're putting out front. We've had some volunteers from CrossFit, I believe. Campers on Mission volunteer have been coming up a couple of different times a week. An elderly retired couple, and they've been helping repaint the outside of the BCM. We've kind of recently done and aren't quite finished redoing the men's and women's bathroom there, and because girls, for some reason, just the bathroom needs to look nice and clean, and just be an area that they can primp and do all that kind of thing.
As well as the men.
Yeah, but not quite as much as women. And we've also, what else have we done? We tore out a cabinet and kind of opened up our building a little bit more to accommodate more students for our worship times, and just to kind of make the building much more open. So those are a few of the things, and as we get some additional funds to do some other renovations, we'll probably do those as well.
What are some of the specific teams that the BCM reaches out to the community with? I mean, you were speaking about ministry teams.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there?
Okay, we have I think it's 4 different teams this semester. We have a worship ministries team. One of the things they do is they lead our weekly worship time every Wednesday night. They get together on Mondays and practice for that, and then they lead worship for us on Wednesday nights. Plus, they are typically going out into various churches in the community to lead worship at different churches. And we also have a missions/prayer ministry team, and a couple of different things they're doing. They're really trying to challenge students in the area of prayer to pray more for each other and for others, and to sponsor some specific prayer events. And then also they're working on planning some different mission kind of things that will involve kind of promoting summer missions opportunities, will involve planning and pulling off spring break mission trips, as well as doing some local mission projects in the broader community of Magnolia. We also have a freshman ministries team, and one of their main deals has been to lead the freshman family groups, which is something we do every fall semester. Freshmen will meet for approximately 8 weeks. We meet on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, and that group is responsible for just planning and leading the freshmen through some small group Bible studies. And then we also have an outreach team, and one of their purposes is to outreach, to reach out to students here on campus. And some of the ways they do that is they will go visiting up in the dorms. Students who have filled out an information card for the BCM, we utilize that as a way to stay in contact with people and follow up on those who have come down to the BCM or somehow we've been given their name. And they also do things like write little postcards, do emails, some different things like that. to stay in touch with them. At last spring, one of the teams we don't have this semester, and just because we didn't have the student leaders to take it on, was a sports ministries team that really kind of helped us develop intramural sports a little bit better as far as BCM students participating in that. And so when students have a desire to take a leadership in an area, we'll probably develop other ministries, because there's a lot more to do out there than we're actually doing. But as students take the initiative to step up in leadership roles, then we'll take on some new and different kinds of ministries.
How is the BCM staffed?
A few different ways, I guess I would say. We have, well, I'm a full-time staff person,
Right.
and I work 40 plus hours a week at least. I mean, it's just different. We're doing stuff during the day, at night, weekends, so my schedule varies throughout the week. I have a part-time administrative assistant. She works about 20 hours a week. It's been a wonderful, wonderful assistant, very detailed, and helps me out in many ways. And typically in the past, I've had a full-time assistant who has normally been a recent college graduate who will work about 40 hours a week and work typically from August till May. But this year, I didn't find anybody like that, so we did something different and creative. We broke up the position into 3 different positions. I have a guy who just recently graduated from here, Matt Hubbard, who is our freshman outreach leader. And so he focuses on freshmen and helping us to reach out onto the campus community. And then my wife, she works about 10 hours a week, and she helps pull off some different special events. In fact, as I was coming up here, she was meeting with the freshmen to help plan the freshman event for next week. And then we have another guy, Scott Cooley, who had been in school out here for a while. He's not in school now, but he's our creative communications assistant. And one of the ways he helps is designing some different flyers and working on our webpage and doing some things like that that help give us a creative edge in trying to reach out to students. Plus, we have 2 students who live in the BCM. We have an apartment there in the BCM where typically 2 students can live there comfortably. We've had 3, a little crowded. Makes you feel more like a dorm room kind of thing, but 2 fit back there comfortably. And Alicia Bradford and Jamie Ray are the students living back there now, and they pay a modest amount of rent. But one of their responsibilities is they unlock and lock up the building each day. They clean up the BCM. They set up and take down after different events, and so they help out tremendously. And then we also have several student leaders. We have right at 25 student leaders this fall, and they're not paid. They're all volunteer, which is a pretty cool deal. And to a certain extent, I really consider them like a staff in a sense, because they're the ones who really pull off some of the different events and some of the different ministries that we have going on. And if it weren't for students who took the initiative and leadership to be involved in some of these different ministries, we wouldn't do near the number of things that we're doing through the BCM.
Well, Ben, we'd like to thank you for being with us today, and thank you for watching.
The SAU Report is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.